Okay, so going back to your book. So here it says to edit your paychecks. Now, there are a few rules and what you can do when you're editing your paychecks. Now, first things first is in case of any situation that were to happen. Let's say you forgot to pay, I don't know, Mike for overtime. Okay? Because, we can't do that to Katie because it doesn't matter how many hours she works. She's still going to get the same amount. Let's say I need to edit Mike Mazowski's paycheck because he did some overtime. Now, there's a few rules on when you can actually edit a paycheck. Okay? And the first rule is if you have not sent it out, or if you have not printed out your paycheck. So in this case, I haven't printed my paychecks yet, right? Because I don't want to hook up my printer. So I still owe Mike a paycheck at the end of the day. I haven't printed it out yet. That is where you can go ahead and edit the paycheck before you print it out because you haven't printed out or sent it out. Now, if you have already sent it out and you need to fix that paycheck, your only option is you need to void that check and you need to print him a new one. Okay? And that also falls in along the lines where you gave your paycheck to your employee and they say, oh, I need another one because I lost it. Obviously, you want to make sure that that employee is not trying to cheat you. Cancel that paycheck and just write him a new one and then go ahead and give it to him. All right, but in this case, you can only edit if you haven't sent out the actual paycheck already. Now, what you can do is, another alternative is, let's say I forgot to pay you for this. So what you can do is you can create another paycheck with the difference of amount that you're supposed to pay this person for the overtime. So yes, it will affect everything else as well. So that would be the proper way to do it. But in this case, I haven't printed my checks yet, so I can go ahead and fix it, right? And how are you gonna do that? Well, we're gonna go to our friendly not payroll, but we're gonna go to our friendly check register since we wrote the check out to those people, so it should be pending in the check register. So I'm gonna click OK for checking. And you should see that you're supposed to have 2 paychecks for those things because it's supposed to automatically have taken it out from your checking account, but in this case it hasn't done so. Maybe because I didn't print them out. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and just print them out. Okay, so I can always print my paychecks at any given time. I just go to File, and I go to Print Forms, and I go ahead and click Paychecks. All right, so here it tells me I haven't printed them out, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. All right, then here's what I want to do. I'm going to print it voucher style, okay. So here now it's telling me, well, where am I going to save it just in case? I don't know. I'm going to say Katie and Mike's paycheck. Oh, I'm in caps. Well, that's actually better. Katie and Mike paycheck. Was it December 16? 2019. And I'm going to go ahead and save it I'm going to save it in my documents like I normally do, right? Under my trusty little folder here, LVPTA, Accounting, QuickBooks Class, QuickBooks Portable Files, and I'm going to go ahead and drop it into your PM class. So once I've done that, now it's saved it, and then now it gives me this window here on actually printing out each one. So this one's going to be checked for 6069, and the other one is for 6070. Okay, and I'm going to print both of them, and I'm going to click OK. So now my checks have been printed, and then now I can go to my checking account and it should have taken it away from there. And it's still not there. I printed out my paychecks. This is crazy. Am I in the right one? Maybe I'm not in the right one. Let's confirm that again. So I'm going to go to my checking account. Oh, I'm in my savings. That's why. All right, I need to be in my checking account. Okay. Now I should see my 2 checks that I wrote. They're still waiting to be printed to Mike Mazowski and to Katie. All right. Now, because I have this right here, I can go ahead and say, okay, it's still being printed, so I can go ahead and fix his paycheck right here, right then and there. Okay, and say, like, I need to make it a higher amount. Okay, but make sure if you do that, you also need to report it into your payroll as well. So this is why, yes, you can do it this way, but I recommend you just print a second check in hopes that this is okay. Now, yes, you can modify it, right? I can modify it by also doing the same thing if I were to go to my, into my employee center. Okay. Okay, but first I'm going to void that check just so then Mr. Mike doesn't deposit that right away. So I'm going to go ahead and click here and I'm going to say I'm going to void it. Okay. And I can either delete void paycheck. Boom, it's voided. Right? So that means
Not even printed yet.
right, but remember, it's not printed yet, but it's already. I just have to set my printer up, and it will start printing everything out. Yet I haven't given it to him, but I've printed it already.
You printed already?
Yeah, because it assigned the number already, right? But because it's supposed to assign it as 60, 70, whatever it is supposed to be. But in this case, I'm gonna void it because I'm gonna write Mr. Mike a new check, including his brand new amount, instead of writing him a separate check. So in this case, I'm going to void it for purposes of accounting, okay, and also safety measures in case someone does pick up that check and just gives it out to them, right? Because I'm not always going to be in the office and paychecks are here. They take them and then, a lot of things can happen in the office. So in this case, I just want to make it safety measures because I'm going to write Mr. Mike Mazowski a separate check. And by doing that, I'm going to go ahead and close all this. What does it say? Do you changes to this transactions? Do you want to record your changes? Yes. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to go back to my employee center and I'm going to go ahead and click Mr. Mike Mazowski since I've already given him his paycheck for the 16th. I'm going to double click it and it's going to give me his paycheck right here. We know that it's been voided. All right, because it's 0000. Good. Now what we're going to do is going to go back to the payroll center because now we got to change it. We got to make sure that he gets the correct amount. So we're going to go back to pay employees. Oh, employee center. And we're going to click this one. This is for now. This is for the January 1st. But we can go ahead and modify this one right here. Okay, this is now where I can modify whether I print this or I can change what I need to add in here. Okay, so in this case, I still need to print Katie's, but I want to modify it. So I would have to go here. Oh, that's the quick report. Oh, yeah. No. It says I have 2 pending. Can I modify it with a pencil? Whew. Schedule. You're supposed to be able to do it, huh? Let me see at the very bottom. Edit void paychecks. So I can edit the paycheck. So let me see what I want to do. I want to modify my payroll. So I can add employees, payment summary. So there's a report. I want to be able to edit my information. So it says I can only edit my paycheck. So I don't, Mr. Sanchez, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How do you edit a a person's pay stub?
As far as the money amount or what?
Yes, because we're saying that the person had overtime, but we forgot to include it. I know that you can change it. I just don't remember where.
Can't you just open?
It won't let me open it. This is just to print the check for Katie.
Right. Go to the timesheet.
No, we didn't use the timesheet.
How did you get paid them then?
We clicked the pay employees and we just selected it from here.
But how did you verify their time?
I did not use the timesheet. I just entered it in, whatever the book said.
Okay, let me double check there. Where are you at in the book?
We're at editing and voiding paychecks.
What page?
332.
332.
42?
332.
332.
Mm-hmm.
332.
Yes.
Let me see what you see. Because I never did it that way. 332 is 4. Okay, from Payroll Center,
Mm-hmm.
select the edit void paycheck.
We already did. We already voided the paycheck. Now my question is, how do I?
Void it?
I already voided it. Yeah.
Okay. So now you got to start all over again from the beginning.
Right, but it doesn't give me the option to do that. It's saying it's giving me the option to do the next week's payroll. And I'm going back to the transactions and it's not letting me edit it.
Okay. Where is the edit void paycheck deal here on your screen?
It's on my check register. So I went to my I went to my.
No, you want to go to the center. Go to the payroll center.
Oh, am I there? Oh, payroll center. If I were to click this, it only shows that I have Katie. It already canceled out Mike's.
No, you want to go to the center, and then pay employees tab. Where's the pay employees tab?
I am currently on that.
Okay. And go to the other activities. Where's the other activities at?
Other activities
Right
at the
there.
bottom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go there, click on that.
Set up direct deposit's the only option I have. Oh wait, I have.
Go to the right of that. Yeah. Go to the right of that, and the second one down says edit void.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, there it is.
you got his check, right?
But I've already voided this. It even says it's been cleared.
Okay, now
If you go to the previous page, I thought I saw a tab for edit. Before you went to this page, I thought I saw an edit tab. Yeah, right down there at the bottom.
At the bottom,
Uh,
yeah,
edit.
right down here.
I know it says it's already been voided, but why would it offer that button?
I just clicked it and it just took me right back to their exact paycheck.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I'm trying to edit the timesheet or edit the payroll.
And you're gonna need to go. You're gonna need to go to the timesheet. Go to the timesheet.
I have to
Go to
turn
employees on the menu bar. Go over more.
okay,
To
employees. I don't have my timesheet on. That's why I'm telling you I didn't use a timesheet. I just followed whatever was in the book.
Oh no, yeah. I would always have the time. I would always have the timesheet on. Um, hold on here.
So the check was voided, right?
Correct.
Right.
Okay, so does that mean, since we can't pull that, does that mean that the stub is also voided?
The
The whole
whole thing, the
transaction.
whole transaction has been
Right,
voided.
then we can't go in and edit something that's gone,
Right. So you should be able. You should be able to.
start over.
Oh,
Go
so I would have to
edit the
start
paycheck.
over. Okay, so here, maybe I'm gonna schedule this paycheck again. What does it say? No. Select okay. Well, I don't want to do 7-1. That's the next pay route. Well, I guess let me see if I can edit it through this way. Okay, so here's my check window. So instead of doing the 31st, I'm gonna go ahead and set it for the 15th. And I'm going to set this check date to the 16th because that's when we are releasing it.
16. Yeah.
Okay. And then here I can have the option to choose for Mike or for Katie. I don't. Uh, uh,
What might be-
don't tell me again.
We're doing
Yeah.
Mike.
Katie.
And
Yeah.
we're not going to do.
Check 80.
Okay, so here's Mike. And then we're going to edit his pay,
Well, now you're not
his.
going to edit. You're not going to add it. You're going to create a new one. So now open a paycheck detail. Go up.
Yeah, it's not letting me click his name. There you go.
Well, up. Go. Okay. Now is everything here correct, including his overtime?
No, that's why I'm going to include right now.
Then do that now. Yeah.
Overtime. Ooh. I'm in caps. Or maybe we could do sick pay. Do we even offer sick pay? No, we don't even offer.
You don't have when you set it up. You didn't authorize the overtime.
Okay. Well, we
Go
have salary.
No, go to add new.
That's right.
Go up.
Let me type it in. What I wanted to say. I wanted to say hourly overtime, and I'm going to add that as a new item. Okay. There you go. Now it's going to ask me to set it up.
And it's going to be go hourly and go next. Overtime pay. Click on that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Enter name.
So you want to name it overtime, whatever, hourly overtime.
Okay. Next. All right. Are we doing it a time and a half or double time? I'm only going to do Okay, next. And then finish. So there I created my stuff right here. So again, it showed up as $36. So I'm going to say that he did 4 hours overtime. So now his check has risen to $2,064. And in this case, now because his amount has risen, now this is how it's going to recalculate his new tax withholdings. And then exactly, now he's at 1215 now. And because we changed the date on everything, so we're going to go ahead and click save and close. And then now we're going to also verify this again, that this is for the 15th of December and the check amount is for 1216, and we're only doing Mike Mazowski. So, okay, so that's how we edit the information, because that's what I wanted to make sure, that if we were to charge him overtime, right, we need to make sure that QuickBooks can properly take out all the taxes instead of us just writing a check, voiding it, and just giving him the amount for it. Because then QuickBooks is going to question, well, it doesn't know that I'm paying him for overtime. So this is exactly what I was talking about when re-entering in the data. And this is me, either I can write 2 separate checks. I can either create a separate check for just the overtime, or I can just cancel his entire check and rewrite him a new one for the correct amount. Since this would be the most proper way to do it, because again, if you just do overtime, then his taxes that are being taken out is also inaccurate as well, because you're just paying him for the difference that has happened, but you're not recognizing it, right? You're only doing it for the amount that he is over. In this case, you wouldn't get taxed for it. But if we included with the actual proper working periods and stuff, it's going to calculate a total different bracket, right? Because now he earned more money. So that would be the more proper way to do it, just to cancel the check and start all over and create him a complete new check. And then we're going to go ahead and click continue. So now I have Mike here. We're going to print out his check, and I'm going to go ahead and click continue and to create the check. And then I'm going to get the same exact window. Now I have one more check to print. I'm going to go ahead and print the paycheck. So I have 2 pending still. I still got Katie's, and I have Mike's new amount for his paycheck. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click cancel. So, sorry, got a brain fart. Couldn't figure it out how to edit that, but that's how you do it. How you edit a person's paycheck, but also revise it through the QuickBooks and the payroll process. So you do have to go ahead and, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. So you do have to go back into the payroll thing. Just make sure that you edit the date, but to schedule it another one. So in this case, it still reflects that we only have 1. Good. All right. Any questions? That was a doozy. I needed help there.
That was interesting.
Yes. All right. Paying payroll liabilities. Again, it's the same exact process as paying your employees, except, however, you're going to go over one tab and click pay liabilities. And here we have 2 that are due tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and select both of them, so then I can go ahead and schedule to select items 3,000. Okay. View/pay. So we can click view/pay. Same process, except this one is actually going to go straight into a check. Okay. And here we're making sure that the amounts are correct. And when do we want the agencies to be able to have them be able to deposit the check? Again, we want it on the 16th. Here, we're going to just validate every single one. So here we have, because we edited Mr. Mike Mazowski's things, all of these should look different from your book because I added that extra thing. So in this case, here it is. And on top of that, I don't know if I'm pulling up the 2018, the 2019, or the 2020. payroll numbers, but I'm assuming this is going to, because it's a sample file, they're obviously going to use the correct ones. So in this case, boom, this is my paid amount. I go ahead and click save and save and close. So there's one paycheck, done. And then here, it just shows you up a little report here saying, okay, great, you paid this amount right here. All right, what do you want to do with it? And I'm just going to go ahead and print the check, or I can save it for later or print the summary. But in this case, I'm going to close it. We already know how to print checks. Okay, and then once you've done that, it verifies that that I still have to pay one more. So I'm going to pay this one. I'm going to pay this one off because we only paid the ETPS. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pay this one. Same thing. Now this time we're paying the Employment Department Development, so the EDD. We're going to verify for this amount. And I'm going to go ahead and click, do we check the date? Yes. And I'm going to go ahead and click save and close. Then the same window is going to pop up, but this time it's going to let you know this is what you're paying for. Do you want to print the check? I'm going to close this out. And then as we keep doing that, as you can see, our liabilities list gets lower, right? Now we have 2 things that are due in 4 weeks. So since we set ours to be due every month, this is exactly why they're due. It says, it gives you a little time ticker right there. But it also lets you know on your calendar as well. And in this case, here we have 2 checks that were written out for the bill, right? To the for the federal withholdings, and this one's for the California Disability Development, whatever it's called, the EDD. Okay. See? Oh, excuse me. See how easy and simple paying your liabilities is? You just click it, pay it, boom, write a check, verify, you're done. That's it.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's why us looking into using the payroll process will save us a heck of a lot of time. We don't need to sit there and calculate. We don't need to verify anything. We just select what we want to pay and we just pay it. And it lets you know when it's due as well. So your job here is just to make sure that you frequently check it, just to make sure that what bill that you have to pay is readily available for you to go ahead and pay. All right?
So most of the work is done at setup.
Exactly. And yes, and we looked at how exhausting it was to set up, right? We had to make sure that all of these agencies, exactly.
It shows how important it is because everything, once you get it set up, it's very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Very little information to enter.
Mm-hmm.
Once it comes to payday.
Mm-hmm. And all you need to enter in is what is the correct amount of hours, what are the things that you are giving deductions for, or what do you allow? So in this case, I had overtime, I had regular paydays, so things like that. It does contribute, especially it's all connected in a sense. Okay. So there you go. We have that. Now the last thing that I want to show you is going to be the reports. So things that you can look is, for example, your payroll summary report. So that's pretty straightforward. You're going to be able to go see which employees received what. So if we go to employees and payroll and we select the payroll summary, right? Here. Oh, come on. There you go. It shows us what we paid, how we paid it, whether it was salary or hourly, right? What things that were deducted from each paycheck for this example, okay? And then, yes. So that's pretty much the summary. What I don't know what the importance for this is. This is definitely for when you do file your taxes every every however often you do it. This is definitely something you definitely want to keep in your books or into a document, just to verify that you can confirm and reflect back on your report saying, okay, this is how much money I'm actually contributing to the 401k plan, okay, for each individual person. So that's that one. Again, these reports, again, they are geared towards a specific kind of position, okay? So for example, your employees in your payroll, right? It's not going to be very important to the accountant. It's going to be important for your HR or whoever is in charge of to pay your employees. So again, you have a few other things you can do. You could do a detailed report, payroll item, so you could actually look at all your deductions, or any of your sick item, like your sick pay and all that stuff. You can also look at when you've actually paid your liabilities. So let me look for that one. That's the next one that they want you to look at, is your liabilities report. Okay, so I got workers' compensation. So yeah, because you could also have workers' compensation. Remember, we talked about how important it is to have workers' compensation. So here, payroll liabilities, right? We can look at how much we owe, what we paid, and look at how well we're doing. So we're good, we're right on target, we're not getting in trouble with the government, right? Because if you do not pay, you're going to get a huge hefty fine. And the more you keep forgetting to pay, the shorter the government is going to allow you to have to pay back your liabilities, okay? So every single time, okay? So if you went from quarterly and you keep missing your payments, they're going to shorten your string a little bit and make you do it every monthly. If you still continue to miss that monthly, they'll charge you a hefty fine and shorten it up to every week. And if you're really bad at it and you still don't pay, they could audit you for that reason, and they could shut you down temporarily so they can investigate why you're not paying your liabilities. So it's important that you pay because, again, ultimately, this is money that the government is taking from you so they can, contribute to society as a whole, whatever they do with their money, right? Be able to pay for the veterans, the disabled, all those other, if you're federal agency governments, so anything that's, anything that you need that your taxes go to, that is very important that you have a consistent cycle going on. Now, again, a lot of people say this. I put my money into my unemployment, so I should get my money back. That is wrong. You're out of your paycheck, you're not paying into unemployment. The company pays for the employment, okay, based on you. And if they don't pay, then, a lot of things will happen. So, again, here's your little payroll liabilities report here on the activities plus every single line item that you have, whether you paid them or not, and what you've collected through each month. Okay, so in this case, I had 0, 0, 0 for quite some time. But that's okay, because we're only focusing on December. All right, and I believe that is pretty much the last report I have on here. Okay, so, yep, that's the last report I have on here. So let's go ahead and get started with our review questions. So, hold on. Preparing payroll taxes. Okay, so I want you to read that on your own to be able to do that. So, here are review questions. All right, make sure you select the best answer for the following. Okay, so number 1, to properly affect the payroll items, okay, which function from the employees section, okay, on the home page, should you use to pay the payroll taxes? A, write a check. B, what did you say? D, pay liabilities?
Yeah.
Correct. right? This is a straightforward answer. It's asking you, well, what's the proper way to pay your liabilities off on the home page, right? You're not going to use pay bills. You're not going to use write a check. You're definitely not going to pay your employees because we're trying to pay your taxes. So D is the correct answer. Number 2, okay, voucher style checks, okay, when used for processing payroll, may contain what? A, your earnings and tax withholdings. B, your adjustments to the net pay. C, federal filing status. And lastly, D, all of the above. Yes. Yes, remember voucher style gives you every breakdown. It is included into your paycheck, including the year to date of how much tax you actually have. So they include a lot of stuff. Of course, you're going to have your earnings, right? That's the purpose of a pay stub, right? And with voucher style, you get your pay stub and your paycheck included in one. You're going to have your adjustments in net pay, right? All the taxes that are included, that's going to be subtracted from your gross. And of course, you're going to have your federal filing status, meaning, are you single? You're going to have your social security on there. You're going to have a lot of information on there. Okay. Number 3, the payroll liability balance report identifies what? A. What did you say? Okay, we got an A.
Well, I had D, but I don't know. Let me see. Why did I choose that?
Okay, well, let's explore it. So we got liability payments made during the payment period. Okay. B, we have liability amounts by payroll item. Okay. And then C, we have liabilities to employee deductions only. Okay. Or we have liabilities for employer taxes only. Now, let's explore that. We just looked at it earlier. This is the payroll liabilities balance report. Okay, so here it gives you how much liabilities based on what? What do we call these? Okay, sorry.
Those are deductions.
Okay, good.
But those are all responsibility of employers.
Correct. And we can call this, where do we find these items at?
Liabilities.
Okay, more specifically, is there a specific list that you can put them in?
Employers.
Okay, not employers. Okay, let me revise this.
Okay, go to list.
Okay, yeah, list.
And then go to items list.
Now remember,
Oh no, wait a minute, payroll item.
payroll item list. So there you go. There's your answer right there. Payroll item list. And as you can see, each item is listed out with their balances, right? Now, it doesn't tell you whether we actually paid it. It just gives you the balance. But, with the zeros, it means we paid it. Okay? So it doesn't give you it. I guess I kind of told you guys wrong. That it just gives you your balance of currently what is owed. Okay? It doesn't say you made a payment right here. But, for the balances that are zero, that's just how they are. These are just basically your balances that happen during each month, right? And you can separate that. You don't have to go by year.
Each month, right.
It doesn't have to be for each month. You can toggle it here, or you could customize it saying, I only want to display this month. You can customize it, but in this case, it is listed by each payroll item that you have, and a balance is in it for that month that you've collected.
And I I just noticed it's both employees and employers, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, the answer would be B.
The answer is B, correct. All right.
The payroll item.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, number 4. Which statements is true? A, you can print pay stubs at any time. B,
Yep.
oh, okay, there you go. Yes, A is true. Let's look at B and C and D before we leave it. Okay, so B, pay stubs print 2 per person. It's per page. Sorry. That's not suggested
Yeah,
unless you're trying to just print out as many reports and save paper. Then yes, you can print 2 per page. But I mean, again, that wouldn't be ideal because you don't want to mix up your, you want to keep every document separate or each pay stub separately. All right, if you find an error in the past paycheck, you should delete and recreate the paycheck to ensure accuracy.
No, no, no. No
definitely not.
delete.
Okay,
No deleting.
no deleting. What do?
You edit and or void.
You edit or void. Good, good. Okay, lastly, you cannot void a paycheck.
That's not
No,
true.
right.
Of course, that's not true. So A is correct. All right, lastly, number 5, to begin the processing for your payroll, okay, what should you do?
D.
Choose pay employees from the employee section of the homepage. Yes.
B.
Let's just select the payroll item and then select the process payroll. Nope, you can't do that. Select the employees menu and then select pay schedule liabilities. But that's not to begin the process. That's just to pay. Okay, to write a check from the homepage. Okay, so A,
Part of it.
you can do it that way, but that's not going to initiate any payroll process whatsoever. So A is already eliminated. B, yes, you can do that, but again, that's not how you start the payroll process. The payroll process is to pay your employees first, and then you can pay your liabilities. And on top of that, your liabilities don't always have to come after paying your employees. So B is half correct. C is obviously wrong. D is the correct answer. All right. So, yeah, any questions in regards to the payroll process?